He takes over the rotating presidency of the Council of the EU for the next 6 months. The Irish ambassador to India, Kevin Kelly, described India as one of the most important strategic partners of Europe. Ambassador Kelly was speaking at the Press Club of India at an event to mark the inauguration of Irish presidency of the Council of the European Union. Listen in.
I'm being joined at this point of time by the Irish ambassador to India, Your Excellency Kevin Kelly. Thank you for speaking to us on NewsX. Congratulations for taking over the presidency of the European Council. How do you see India and EU relations growing, particularly with regards to the free trade agreement? Prime Minister Narendra Modi had that trilateral with the EU Commission President and the EU Council President. How do you see the implementation, and how soon do you think this is finally going to be rolled out?
So we're very hopeful that within the lifetime of our presidency, within the next 6 months, that we will see this mother of all trade deals finally being signed by the principals of both sides. And I think the reason that we're hopeful of that is that both sides, both President von der Leyen and Prime Minister Modi, have set very clear expectations to finalize this. So my hope would be that this agreement will be signed before the end of the year, with a view towards it coming into effect by the 1st of January. We're very hopeful for this agreement. I think it's going to open up huge opportunities and possibilities for both sides, and it can be a real win-win. It's about trade, of course. It's about increasing the level of trade, but it's broader than that. It's about mobility of people. It's about exchanging ideas and innovation. There's going to be real possibilities to expand our partnership into a whole range of new set of horizons.
I also want to speak to you about the free and open navigation, whether we talk about the West Asia war and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, but more importantly in the Indo-Pacific, where today the Japanese Prime Minister is over here. She has focused on Quad and the free and open maritime spaces in the Indo-Pacific region. What role can European Union play in working with India to ensure free navigation and no coercion from aggressive sides?
Well, I think that one of the powers of the European Union is that even though we're a very large economy, we're the third largest economy in the world, perhaps we haven't been as effective as we could be in terms of having our voice heard on the global stage. I think that we have traditionally played a very constructive role when it comes to peace and when it comes to resolving conflict, but also when it comes to maritime safety and security. I think, as has been said earlier today, for many countries we took for granted maritime movement, freedom of movement, and we have only become, through this conflict, aware of the real vulnerabilities that exist. I think what the European Union can do is make sure that we use our voice in our discussion with partners and allies to make sure that the peace agreement holds, that we don't see any return to conflict, and that we start building a more sustainable form of governance within Iran that respects the views of its people, and that we have hopefully moved to a more positive space.
You spoke about migration and exchange of culture and people-to-people connect between Ireland and India. There has been an agreement that has been signed between EU and India when it comes to mobility and migration of people, of skilled labor, semi-skilled labor, students as well. How can you help in smoothening this process in terms of increasing the number of Indians traveling to Europe and to Ireland as well?
Yeah, well, what we've seen in Ireland is a very positive story, in fact, because we have had a very high level of legal, orderly migration of Indians coming to Ireland, meeting real skill gaps in our economy. So it's a real success story. We now have well over 100,000 Indians living in Ireland, who many of them came as students, some came as professionals working in a whole range of sectors. So I think the beauty of this new free trade agreement and the ancillary agreements around mobility, it's around trying to ensure orderly migration. And I think that's in the interest of the European Union as much as it is of India. So I think that we're seeing new offices being established in Delhi and in Brussels that are going to help facilitate this. In Ireland, even though we don't have yet a formal migration or mobility agreement with India, we've seen huge level of movement, and in a very positive way that's contributed towards our economy and our society. And I would see that that can only grow. I think this free trade agreement is about building trust between both sides.
Your Excellency Kevin Kelly, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank
And
you so much.
congratulations once again for the
Thank you.
presidency of the EU.